SkipStep is an algorithmic step sequencer. In a step sequencer, each column corresponds to a beat, in this case a 16th beat, and each row corresponds to a note. SkipStep has 4 different pages, each of which corresponds to a different instrument. Each of the pages, or each instrument, can also hold 4 different sequences. To play the sequences, we use the cuneo. Each column in the cuneo corresponds to one of the SkipStep pages. And then each row corresponds to one of the banks in a particular instrument. There are 3 different ways you can play a melody in SkipStep. You have one-shot mode, which is what I've been doing. You just press the button and the melody will play once. There's loop mode, where once you press it, the melody will loop over and over again. And there's sustain mode, in which the loop will play for as long as you're holding down its corresponding button. SkipStep also allows you to edit the sequences that you've drawn on. For example, let's say you create a simple melody like this. You can use these buttons to shift it, or to rotate it. SkipStep also has algorithms that you can use to manipulate the melody that you're playing. So this is what our simple ascending melody sounds like right now. This selector chooses from the 4 different algorithms, and this selector chooses how intensely that particular algorithm will vary the melody. To start with, we have an auto-harmonizer, which will create 2 distinct lines above and below the main melody, and this controls the width of those harmonies. And there's also the undo button for undoing the application of an algorithm. The second algorithm is the shape respecting variation. It'll give you a variation on the melody that roughly respects the melodic contour. The third algorithm will randomly drop columns, so if you've got a melody like this with no gaps, it can add gaps and create a rhythm. The intensity determines how many columns will drop. And then the fourth algorithm lets us select and parse out a simpler melody. So for example, if we have some harmony like this and we only want one voice, then what we can do is we can select 1 and the algorithm will randomly drop everything except 1 note in each column. Compared to our original. The algorithms can also be set such that they will automatically apply themselves every time. So let's go back to our simple ascending melody and do the shape respecting variation. Set it to loop mode and go. So as you can see, the repeated application of these algorithms can eventually make the melody sound like a jumbled mess. So what we also have is an undo mode, where whatever algorithm or whatever variation at all, even manual, is applied, it'll be removed at the end of the melody. So for example, let's see it in action without an algorithm. And now with the algorithm. SkipStep also lets you select what columns the algorithms or the refresh mode can act on. For example, if we go here and say we only want the algorithm to apply itself to the end of the melody, we can select the last few columns and then press this toggle. This column selector also works if you only want to shift around a small part of the melody.